Hello, guys, welcome. And today we are going to be looking at a very important topic, which will be the basis for most of our next videos. Uh, yeah, let's get started. But before, I would like to say thanks to Professor Jiang. I've been watching his videos on YouTube, and he has really inspired me to think for myself and to express my original ideas, and to talk about it, or it just basically helped me connect the dots, and that has helped me to push myself towards making such videos just for fun. um, so that's let's get that out of the way and let's get started at our today's topic. So today we are going to be looking at a very simple topic called reality. Uh, so I'm gonna borrow some parts from his lecture, where he spoke about the model given by Immanuel Kant, and I have some extra things to say about that uh, model and how we can extend it beyond what he spoke in the video. So what he basically said was, um, so there was a German philosopher called Immanuel Kant, and he suggested a model where he says that, um, so this would be you, and this would be the anything, basically, like anything in the world or anything. And what he said was, you can never know the thing by itself. You can only interpret it. So what we mean is, like, whatever we see in the world or whatever we understand about the world, what we're really doing is we are seeing an image of it, or we can say an interpretation of it, or something we receive, basically. It's like the camera which captures the image. It doesn't really see what there. What it basically does is capture what it's able to see, like, gather, and make sense out of it. And we humans also have a similar mechanism, you can say. And this can be seen at various levels, like both at the visual level, or you can even extend it to our day-to-day life, any incidents, people, objects, things, science, and all. So what we can do is we can only get uh, get a sense of things to us. We cannot really, oh, yeah, we cannot really know what's there. We can only get the signals, and he called this thing, um, like, noumena. So the thing by in itself, like, you can say, like, the true thing, like, for example, this pencil. So what this pencil really is, I'll never know. I can see it, like, via the light rays. I can feel it physically, like, via the physical touch and all. But all of these eventually boils down to is sensations and kind of signals picking up, you can say. So that would be the scientific way of looking at things, like how to connect science to this model. But we can also extend it to any incidents or life itself, where, let's say, um, you have a friend, and maybe the friend says something to you, like he's busy for the weekend or he's busy for the evening. And what you can never know the real truth. And what you can do is you can ask questions and get some response from it, and this response is gonna build your understanding. Like, you're not gonna know the exact thing. You're never gonna know the exact thing behind most of like anything in this world. What you can really do is get a sense of and get an idea or get some sense of what's out there. So that's what basically the model hints at, where we can't really know the truth. You can say we can get closer to it, where we can use our knowledge and experience and intellect to try to understand and build a more better model of understanding. We can go closer and closer, but we kind of cannot say for sure, like, yeah, this is the thing, this is the reality. And you can also see, like, our in scientific discoveries have been in the same nature as well. Like, for a long period of time, we believed in a certain thing, like, okay, world is made of this atoms, matter and all. And as we went deeper and deeper, and we realized, like, okay, maybe that's not true, maybe we have some exceptions, maybe we have something more to discover. And it's kind of a never ending cycle, and at the end of it, you kind of are often empty handed, where you cannot find one definitive answer. You can only give a model which will kind of satisfy the requirements. You can only give an explanation, but it won't be a complete one. It will always be There will be always be something left, or something that you cannot say for sure. And even if you can say for sure, it's kind of like a matter of time before something else comes up, or something else collides with it. Like, you are always so that's the thing. Where so the conclusion behind this theory is that we have to be very open minded and imaginative about the reality. uh, it's not something which is like set in stone, where okay, this is reality and this is how it is, and there's nothing else different about it. So we can never say that. We have to always keep an open mind, stay imaginative, and build our explanations, build our understanding, and keep moving. mm. So this basically what it does is we uh, so yeah, I forgot to mention it. So the thing which we see could be called phenomena. Uh, so yeah, we can only develop our understanding. We can never know for sure what's the thing, and this is going to be a very basic block for the next upcoming theories which we will discuss and understand. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can try putting into comments. Maybe I'll go through and see if I can add something to the next class. um, so hope you guys are clear about the flexibility, you can say, flexibility of the nature of reality, or life itself, basically. And this model, let's talk about extensions of this model, okay? uh, so let's talk about extensions, like how widely applicable this model really is. Let's look at a few examples so that you get an idea of how to apply these models to different things and see for yourself, like, whether it's useful or not. So 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 one would be traditional science. So regarding science, this is kind of straightforward, because we have sensors, or and senses capturing it. And this is basically a reading, like all the theories in the science and all. We are kind of effectively we are just collecting readings, and we're putting them into paper and using our logic and building stuff out of it. mm, and even if you do some experiment, it's like even if you do something to it, what you're really checking is the response of it or the reaction of it. uh, and even if you're observing, then again, uh, when we observe, we are passive about it, and we are kind of just receiving information. And this can also be into the spiritual or abstract side of it, basically ideas. So if you think about it, thoughts and ideas kind of come to us. You can think step by step, like what's the next step, what's the next step, what's the next step. But the ideas itself are often receiving, like they often come to us as opposed to we going to them. um, and what I meant by spiritual is, there are sometimes in life and all, uh, it doesn't make sense, like for things to repeatedly happen in a certain way or repeatedly go wrong, and anything, it could be anything, I'm just giving an examples. And often what happens is, like you can argue that logically it's possible for the coin to come heads like 5 times in a row and all. uh, but what often happens is, for that person who's living that life, from his perspective, it's different. It's like, for me it's simple to say that, oh, a coin has come tails 5 times in a row. But for that coin itself, it's a very different story, and we can never know what the coin is really going through. Is what I mean. uh, so yeah, so that comes on to the next point. Life, we can never know others life. We can never truly know what other is going through, or someone is living through, like what's his exact life, what's his exact situation, what's exactly going on in his mind or surroundings, or how he's interpreting. You can get a very close idea where you can empathetically kind of understand what he might be feeling. So you can argue that we have empathy and logic to kind of make a guess to what someone else is thinking or feeling or doing, or what he's going through. But this is all imagination, guys. This is not really the exact truth. I can only imagine what someone is going through when he fails a test. I don't exactly know what he's going through at that particular day or time of the incident. So we can only imagine others' life, and that can kind of extends to empathy and logic and all these tools. But we can never know. Okay, we can never know. Um, so this model holds up true here as well, and you can also argue like incidents. Like this is just life in general. But let's say you have a shared incident. Uh, so let's take back to that example of my friend being busy uh, for weekend. And so let's say this is me and this is my friend. so so it's like you can only try to make uh, like you can only try to interact, uh, and you can never really know what's the real story, like it's up to, like if he says like, oh, I'm busy, I'm going out for a theater or whatever. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I'm not saying like be distrustful, but I'm just giving you an example, a simple example, so that you can understand this concept. So like, so we can, so if someone tells us something, we always have that option of whether to believe it or not. And no matter how, so if you believe it, the story kind of ends there, you just believe it, you go on with your life. But if you're skeptical, let's say you're thinking a bit, and you are kind of having your own doubts, and you are like, okay, I need to figure out like what's really happening. Is he really lying to me for such a small thing? I need to know so that I can decide whether or not to be friends with him. So if you're gonna investigate, what are your options really? Like, you can basically talk, message, uh, or argue, but all these methods are effectively dependent on what he's gonna tell me next. So if he's really good at lying or he's really good at making excuses, I'll never know. Okay. uh, like if he's really good at it, and he really knows how to give genuine excuses, then I'll never know. That's the simple fact we can say. So there's always that question, there's always that question mark whether to believe or to doubt further. And we can never really gather enough evidence for anything, it will never be enough. There's somewhere where you will have to draw a line. There's somewhere a line drawn where you are like, okay, this is enough, or this satisfies my curiosity, or anything. But for in a true sense, we can never really know the truth. Okay, I can never really know what someone thinks of me or is doing in terms of friendship, and he can also never know what I am doing. It goes both ways. Not just, I'm not talking about myself, but I'm just telling you that this moral is applicable even in human relationships, uh, and not just like things in terms of science and all. So because of the nature of a reality where everything has to come in, and you can only try to reach out, you can only try to interact, and that often doesn't always go in the same expected way. Like there's always variableness to it, where there's always that gonna be a question mark, even if you have something, same results getting, then the question arises, how do you trust that it's the same thing and it's not lying. uh, so yeah, so there's always going to be that hypothetical question mark. uh, so yeah, this was the whole story. My point basically was that we have to be flexible in terms of reality. It's not as concrete as we think. It's very fragile, and it all depends on how we perceive the world. How we see things. Uh, and that's also why we can never say that this is the right answer or this is the wrong answer. Even this same theory which I just spoke about, it's not like it's a correct thing or it's the truth or it's the right thing, but what it does is it's applicable very widely. You can universally apply it, and this theory comes useful in understanding some new theories. So that's the reason why we are learning it. So you have to understand, like, the truth is flexible, kind of in a way, and what really matters is what you believe or what you think. is it useful or not? So that's what it boils down at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter if what you're thinking is the absolute truth or everything else is false and this is the only truth. It doesn't really matter if you get there or not. You can kind of never get there, but the point is, it doesn't matter in life uh, how much you understand or anything. You can always, it helps. I'm not saying it's useless, but you get the point, right? What I'm trying to say is there's no absolute price at the end of it. The real gold lies in what model you believe and whether that model is useful in your life or not. And that's something only you can tell, I can't tell. So we'll have to think for ourselves, think about these theories, whether these models of understanding and whether these theories are going to be useful for us or not, or maybe we need to make some changes. We have to think for ourselves for these videos most of the time. What I'm going to be doing is focusing on my perspective. I'm going to try to explain, I'm going to try to show you the picture of what I'm trying to explain, like what I understand in my head. I'm trying to put that framework out onto the video via words and via the drawing on the board. And so that's it, yeah, guys. This was we'll very soon see how this concept of reality, like this model of reality, is going to be useful every now and then in the upcoming videos, and you will start to see that yeah, really, like this is really widely applicable, and this kind of simplifies things, instead of saying there's two different things, like there's an vanilla ice cream and there's a chocolate ice cream, and we don't really know how they both coexist. So it's like those confusions will go away basically. Like, okay, I give a very bad example, but what I mean is like, if- like let's take school subjects for example. So it's like on one hand you will have maths and other hand you will have history, and you're kind of like, I don't know how each of them is useful. Like I know like how maths is useful in its maths things and how history is useful in its history things, but we don't know how both of them are useful together. So what my videos are planning to do is I'm gonna put very generalized ideas, generalized concepts, which you can apply in anywhere in any subject or any matter for the things. So I'm gonna try to generalize it and provide you a theoretical framework for you to understand, and then apply it wherever you would to apply and check or maybe build upon it, whatever you want to do. That's your thing. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching for this first class, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.